Hi friends, welcome to Book Talk. Let's talk about The Other Side of Midnight today, written by Sidney Sheldon. For your information, he is the best-selling fiction writer of all times. Seventh best-selling fiction writer of all times, and he got fame when he touched the age of 50, and thereafter he wrote many romantic suspense novels which were very successful, and The Other Side of Midnight happens to be one of them. This particular novel, The Other Side of Midnight, is set up between the two world wars, where you have I would say the heroine of this particular novel is a girl by the name of Noelle Page. She is born to a poor family in Marseille in France. Though she is led to believe that she is, the best in the world, better than everyone else, she is initially devoted to her father. She's quite devoted, but the father is not a very straightforward guy. He capitalizes on her beauty when she comes of age and forces her to marry one boutique owner by the name of Auguste Lanchan. Now this fellow, Auguste, is a very cunning guy, and Noelle is forced to have sex with him, and when she comes of age, and thereafter having sex, Noelle gets into an epiphany that if she can control men, she can be indeed very powerful in this world. Keeping this in mind, she escapes to Paris, where she is enchanted by American pilot Lawrence, or better known as Larry Douglas, who promises to marry her when he returns from London. But sadly, when he does not return from London, she develops pneumonia. Pneumonia those days was a very lethal kind of a sickness, and is saved by one Jewish medical intern. His name was Israel Katz, who selflessly helps her get back onto her feet. Now, Noelle is very furious about this guy Larry's betrayal, and she is even now expecting, and she's pregnant, and of course she aborts their unborn child in the most painful and manner, and then she decides to devote her entire life in taking revenge from this guy, Larry Douglas. And meanwhile, Larry returns to United States and marries a person by the name of Catherine. Though their relationship is strained after World War II, since Catherine feels that Larry this time when he has returned is a different kind of a person. He is not the same Larry as she had met earlier. Meanwhile, Noelle uses the war to her advantage. Now in this particular novel, you got to see this fact that Noelle is a very, very opportunistic kind of a person, because she has been cheated in life. So Noelle hires a private investigator and learns of Larry and Catherine's marriage. She then seduces two men, actor, singer Philippe Sorel and director Armand Gautier, and becomes a popular name in theatre and film. So this is now she's trying to maneuver to become rich, famous, powerful, so that she can take revenge against Larry in a very quick and fierce manner. At one point of time, she even risks her plan to help Israel, the only man who had treated her with kindness, to escape to Africa from the Nazis. So whatever little respect she had was because for this person Israel, who had saved her once. And meanwhile, she maneuvers a lot and she tries to become rich, famous, and powerful. So she gets in touch with one business tycoon, Greek business tycoon. His name is Constantine, or you can call him in short, Costa Demaris. So Costa Demaris gets attracted towards Noel Page, and she tries to seduce this guy. Costa Demaris's business extends all over the world, and he's into various kinds of industries. So slowly and gradually, Noel Page becomes the mistress of Costa Demaris and moves into his private villa. There she learns Larry is having a difficult time adjusting to a regular life, and his aggressive pilot skills are coming in way and are not suitable for the commercial airlines, and because of which he's in a very bad state, because his job, Air Force job is over. Now he has to look for something in the civilian flying sector. So there Larry was having big problems. So when Noel Page comes to know of this, she convinces this guy Costa Demaris that why don't you hire this chap, and she again is successful in doing that. As a consequence to that, both Larry and Catherine, they move towards Greece for Larry's new job, where Noel discovers that Larry does not even remember her. So with this, Noel gets very, very angry, and she starts treating him very poorly as an employee, pushing him to angrily rape her one day, and when she tries to emasculate Larry in a great manner. So she's frustrated, Noel, and then she tries all these stunts, and in that frustration, Larry rapes her. She gets excited. I'm talking of Noel. She gets excited and falls in love with Larry once again. So Larry cannot recall their claims of their past, but stays with her only because of her power. However, Larry becomes unsettled when his co-pilot and his other mistress, Helena, they are the two people comprising his and Noel's relationship, suddenly disappear. Noel insists that Larry and Catherine, whose marriage is at its lowest ebb, divorce so that they can be together in life. When Catherine constantly refuses and fails an attempted suicide, Noel plots to kill her. Larry abandons her in a sea cave on their trip, but is forced to return for her when the Coast Guard notices him exiting alone. So this is how God can save. Catherine tries to tell the doctor about Larry's plot to kill her, but the doctor feels that this girl is only hallucinating. Catherine wakes up in the middle of the night one day, and when she overhears Noel and Larry plotting her death, and she escapes during a heavy thunderstorm, and she goes into a boat, but sadly falls overboard, apparently drowning. Catherine claims against them, leads Larry and Noel to be put under trial for a murder. So finally the cops realize that there's something shady, and Catherine has been claiming that they wanted to kill her, and suddenly she disappears, so they are brought under trial. Meanwhile, Demaris is noticeably absent. But one day he visits Noel in jail. He claims to still love her and offers to pay off the judge in case she is readily agreeable to stay with him for life. And now, friends, comes the trick. The novel changes course, and now we are heading towards the end, and the end is very interesting. Towards the end of the trial, Demaris's lawyer, Napoleon Chotas, informs Larry, Noel, and Larry's lawyer, his name is Stavros, that Demaris made a deal with the judge. And the deal is, if Larry and Noel plead guilty, Larry will be banned from Greece and will serve only a short sentence in America, while Noel's passport will be taken away and she will have to live in Greece forever. So both Noel and Larry, they agree to the deal. However, after pleading guilty, they realize that there was never a deal made when the judge thanks them for having a conscience and admitting to the murder despite lack of any evidence against them. So this was the deal, and this was the trick that Demaris plays on them. Chotas offers Stavros a position in his firm in exchange of his silence. And finally, Noel and Larry are sentenced to death, and Demaris, sitting in the courtroom, looks very pleased. They are executed months later. And in the end, Demaris donates money to a convent near the sea, where a woman implied to be Catherine is kept, having been found in the shore. So that's the end of the novel. And so one can say, you can put this novel in many ways. One is Noel was cheated, then she fought back in her life. Then you can also say it's a kind of a usual love triangle where they kill Catherine, and Noel and Larry want to stay together. But yes, it's been very well, nicely written. It's very descriptive, and it's a real page turner. I mean, it was, I'll tell you when it was published. It was published sometime in 1973. It's a marathon novel of about some 598 or almost 600 pages. And it was, the publisher is William Morrow. And so, just in case you've not read this book, and I'm sure you might have seen the movie. It's got a lot of erotica and all that stuff in this particular book, and even, including the novel. If anybody has a taste for erotica, sex, there's Sidney Sheldon is quite known for it. And friends, I would like to give this book 9 out of 10 because it is cross-continent. It involves people of various countries, and it's got a very nice plot. It's very well written, and it's very absorbing. Once you read this story, it impacts you, it leaves you with a daze, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So friends, if you've liked this particular program of mine, kindly share it. Also subscribe our channel. Next week we'll come out with another good book for you. Till then, goodbye from Book Talk.